because I know y'all got some more events coming up and everything. So I definitely want to get you up to speed so that you be able to rock and roll.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so I've let a couple more people in the waiting room, or from the waiting room, pardon me.
Well, SL, I'll continue
Yep,
to let people in if y'all want to go
okay,
ahead and get started because I mean these ladies are here on time, so
perfect.
we'll get things
All
going.
right, all right. Nikki, are you ready? Okay. All right. So I have the pleasure. This is like a triple bonus introduction today. So um, our guest is Vicki McGrath, and one of the things that I wanted to give her a huge shout out for is that she's the first international president of Legs, bringing the Legs mission to Canada. So I'm just so happy to have. Yay! I know. And so, and the other part that makes this like even super cool for me is like I'm originally from Manitoba, so that's the province right next door to where Vicky is in Ontario, and I spent the first half of my life in Canada. So having more Canadians in the house and having that's our quote unquote international expansion. We in Canada we don't really think of us as being international. I always say until you hit the border and then you realize you are. But anyway, so super excited to have a another Canadian join the crew. So our speaker today, Vicki, started a senior care business in 2016, helping hundreds of seniors and their families through the most challenging times. And she is now teaching other kind-hearted women how to start and grow a senior care business, be the boss, and change the world. I can't think of a better person to be doing that. So, all right, Vicki, it's now all yours. Thank you very much and welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, SL and everyone. It's so lovely to be here and see you all. And I look forward to over time potentially seeing you at other legs calls and getting a chance to meet you maybe in person sometime. If you come on up to Toronto at some point, we can golf together. So I'm just going to share my screen and I don't have a huge presentation, so don't worry. But I do like to kind of have a little bit of a presentation prepared just to give you something to look at. And so I'm not 100% sure how to have my screen and see the crowd as well. So SL, I'm just going to confirm that you can see me and you can hear me and you can see my screen.
She gave you the thumbs up, Vicky.
Okay. I
I
can't
had
see
myself
anything.
muted so in case my dog's chewing on a bone,
Oh, I know. I've got the blinds
popping in
closed
the
and everything.
background.
So, thank you all so much for having me. And I'm really excited to be here to just give you a little bit of, I guess, my story and hopefully will give you some food for thought or some inspiration that midlife is not the end of life and that we can reimagine ourselves no matter what happens. And so I'm just going to take you through a little bit of my journey and hope that I can bring you some inspiration as well. So here I started out on a 20-year government career. So I was a person who went to university and got a job. And I was really super lucky that I went to university for environmental studies and got a job in environmental studies or in the environmental field. So I thought I had really hit the jackpot. I was very excited to have a career in the field that I had my education in. It doesn't happen for everyone. And so I was really excited to get started and I worked hard. I worked extra hours. I went on extra outings and events and volunteered my time in different aspects of each organization that I worked in. I worked in local government, and here in Ontario, we have a provincial government, which would be, I guess, like your state government. And so we had local government that I worked in. I worked at the provincial level. I worked in very big policy agendas, like between federal and provincial water agreements. I did really good work. I was very proud of myself and the work that I did. And I worked my way up through the ranks. And I'm sure perhaps you can all relate to having a career and working your way up the ranks and thinking that you are really, doing as the best that you can and doing all that you can. And so I came up into leadership. I had staff. I was at a six-figure income. And then, my mom was diagnosed with dementia, Alzheimer's, and that was in 2010. And so I really was kind of there for her a little bit, but my dad was her primary caregiver, and he really was there for her, every moment throughout her illness and decline. And I didn't really get to see all the stress and anxiety and burnout that he was experiencing while he was helping my mom around this time. And I'm one of five kids. I have four older brothers. And, we were all just living our lives as we do, raising our own families and pursuing our own careers. And none of us really understood exactly what was happening with my dad and my mom. And my dad didn't really want to bother us. And that's just so common for our parents to not want to add to the burden of their children's lives. And so when it came to 2012, after 9 years in my current organization, I was let go very suddenly without really any understanding that it was going to happen. The only thing that probably should have made me realize was that there was a massive senior administration change, and the person that was my boss, who was the CAO at the time, left, and a new CAO came in and, of course, wanted to have his own people. And so I was let go unexpectedly, and I really had no idea. I was devastated. I was caught unaware. And the only thing that I feel was the biggest blessing about that whole thing was that I got to go and spend every day with my mom and help my dad in the last months of her life, and help to give my dad some relief and some respite. And my mom passed away in February of 2012. And after that, I spent a really long time thinking about how her care could have been different, how she could have had a better outcome and experience in the healthcare system, how my dad could have had a better healthcare experience, helping my moms and supporting my mom and getting support for himself. But despite all that, I did go back to work. I joined another organization in 2013. And then again, same thing happened. In 2015, there was a massive administration change, and I was again let go. So I really think God was trying to tell me something at this point. And luckily, around that same time, my husband and I saw this really cute little pink car on our street. And we kind of got to realize that the person with that pink car was looking after one of our elderly neighbors. And that company was a home healthcare company and went into people's homes to help them in their elderly years or sickness or whatever the case may be. And I think that was really the the thing that God was trying to get me to see was that I was meant to do more with helping people than just the environmental field. I was really meant to help people as well. And so, not that long after seeing that car, my husband and I did a lot of research into senior care and home health care and decided to buy a franchise. And we bought that franchise in November of 2015 and launched it in January of 2016. And so now, 10 years later, I have helped hundreds and thousands of seniors and their families and our own staff and made a real impact in the lives of others. And I think that that has been probably the greatest thing for me. You know, when I lost my job for the second time, I was 46 years old. And at the time, you know, you really wonder how you're going to continue to find more employment, how you're going to pay the bills, how you're going to look after your family. And yet, once I decided that the home care or senior care business was the route, I never looked back. It was just, I followed the steps, I followed the systems, the processes. I did exactly what the franchisor told me to do, step by step, day by day. And as you know, that's really all it takes to develop your skills and to become successful, is just to be determined and persistent and take the right steps and do the right things every day. And so I really enjoyed meeting all of the people that I've met, and being in all of the different roles that I've been in my own business. I started to play golf with my husband, and at the time, I really missed the opportunity to connect with other women in business, and felt like once I came across legs, it really kind of all fit together, that I was really meant to become the I guess the help that other women needed in business to join in the golf community, network, and develop relationships. And now, as a business owner, I really feel that that's an exciting opportunity for me. And so, after 10 years of helping seniors and their families in every aspect, you know, from dementia and Alzheimer's, cancer, palliative care, end of life, I decided that. You know, I would like to expand, and I didn't really know what that looked like. I've thought about it for a little while. I thought, well, should I expand my own business into other areas? You know, I could do that. I've worked from home. It's you know, what you would consider the laptop lifestyle. I can work from anywhere if I wanted to. But what actually occurred to me was that I could help other women, other good-hearted women who have had similar experiences as me with an elderly loved one or someone in the healthcare system, start their own senior care business. And so now, that is I guess, the next chapter. I continue to run my senior care business. I will continue to use it as the example for other people to see. They can steal all my copy and steal all my branding if they like. They can steal all my marketing, and I can tell them everything that they need to know. And the best thing about starting a senior care business now is that, you know, the aging population continues to grow. I think baby boomers are not going to be like our parents were. I don't think they're going to want to go into retirement homes and live in congregate living. I think we all learned a big lesson with COVID, that the congregate living model is not ideal. And I think that, you know, the healthcare system is taxed. Certainly in Canada, I'm sure in the US and everywhere, the healthcare system is taxed. It's simply not meant to help people over the long term with chronic illness. It's really meant to be there as a solution to a certain problem only, not a group of problems or an ongoing problem. Right now, the economy is uncertain. So many people are losing their jobs or fear losing their jobs. And I think a lot of the times too, moms are missing out on time with family. You know, you have to go to your job, you have to be at your job, you have to get home from your job. You're always thinking about your job. And so I think that this is the right time to start helping other women start a senior care business, have freedom to work from home and be with their families and set their own income goals, and not have to work in a capped income environment, or for a salary or for somebody else. And so, I guess in conclusion, this is a photo of me crammed into my little space with another business women's network that I belong to, celebrating my 10th year in business. And so, just as kind of a wrap up, conclusion, and perhaps inspiration, you know, sometimes the thing that seems like the worst thing possible in the moment ends up being the greatest opportunity for growth and success. And at the time, it's just not possible that we can see that that's the case. It's actually afterwards, when we look back, then we can see that that was the moment that we could choose to either pivot and grow or stay the same and continue on the same path. And I would say it's never too late to achieve your dreams. And what if you decided today, I'm going for it, and you just decided that it was not too late for you. You were going to do it, and you're gonna achieve what you wanted to achieve. If you believe in yourself and bet on yourself and look for the evidence that you are capable of achieving your dreams, I bet you would see the evidence just stacking up all around you, up and up only. And you have the absolute right to all the success you can get. Don't let anyone ever help, dim your light and tell you that you can't absolutely be the most successful person that you choose to be. And so thank you very much for listening. I hope that it was informative and perhaps helpful for you to give you some ideas around how you can change in your own life if you desire, or in your golf game, or some things that you might like to do with your life now. And I would be happy to answer any questions. And I guess I'm here if you'd like to speak with me. Thank you.
Oh man, it's just like I'm sitting on my hands, I'm writing notes, and I was like wanting to jump in so many times. There was so much value in your story. So I'm gonna let defer to our members. So if they have any questions or anything, does somebody want to put up their hand? Or I mean, just take yourself off mute because there isn't like a huge group here today, and you're welcome to ask Vicky something if you'd like.
Hi, I'll jump in. My name is Stephanie Weiss. I'm in Delray Beach, Florida, and I'm
Hi,
part of
Sophie.
the Boca Raton Legs. And
I love it there. It's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And I just want to say I'm completely motivated. Like you
Mhm.
are, that was amazing.
Mhm.
I'm also an entrepreneur, and as you were saying, telling the beginning of the story, I'm like, where's the hook here? Like, what changed? And my life philosophy is very much so built on, and my business philosophy, you know, um, kind of that, when life hands you lemons, make lemonade. But usually it's not so pretty. It's something pretty tragic that happens, or really something that is so challenging mentally, physically, emotionally for us. And I'll say for men too, but they have enough people helping them.
Mhm.
We need to help each other, us women. And so I actually um, a few times have kind of rediscovered passions of my own and changed businesses and things like that. So I just wanted to say thank you so much. Also, what an incredible um, business you're providing. My parents are both turning 80 this year, and just within the last 4 months, they have both had like a decline, not mentally, but physically, physical things that have gone on with them. They're not together. They live in opposite sides of the country. And I'm the youngest of five children. So,
Yeah, me too.
yes, I heard you say that. So, it, I'm 54 years old, turning 55, and I'm the youngest, so I am grateful that my siblings are all pretty much available now. Their kids are grown, my kids are grown, but it is, a challenge, and I think it is making me really aware of, okay, what's the plan here? And my parents don't have a lot of resources, so it's how do you provide the proper care without essentially like thinking, oh, they're going to move in with me here in my single flat in Delray Beach. But if that's the case, that's the case. But I think there's so much here to be explored, from this kind of child taking care of the parent perspective. I think it's amazing. Plus, I think it's great that you bought the franchise and then you're helping other people. And I think it's just great. So I just want to
Yeah,
say all
thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, what I would say about your parents is that we find that the families are mostly the ones that kind of chip in and take care of the care. It's not often the actual client themselves. So just keep that in mind, right? It's
Yeah.
much easier if you can all kind of chip in a little rather
Yeah.
than one person taking on the whole thing. And the problem with, being 80 is that it doesn't get any younger.
Right.
Right? So
True.
it's a difficult time to see your parents in that place where you just know that it's that the dynamic for them is going to change from now on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
If I can go next,
Yes,
can I?
absolutely. Come on, jump in there, Diane.
So I'm Diane Wheeler from Parrish, which is between Sarasota and Tampa. I'm part of the Sarasota Legs. Yay!
Hi there.
Hi. And couple things I'm just going to go ahead and say. You hit so many points. So initially, I was going to jump in and say, oh my gosh, I have a business that we're about to starting, I think next year put together. I like to call it like, almost like a business in a bag. So for the business to be franchised. And you had made a comment like, I followed what the franchisor said, I did it and it worked. And so, I have something else after that, but I would love to just pick your brain about some of the key points about what the franchisor said to you that made an impact. Because I think sometimes people are like, oh, the franchise should stand on its own, but there's an awful lot more work, especially when it comes to pulling a brand into a new area, if you will. So what exactly did you think was instrumental in having your business take off when you bought the franchise?
Yeah, great question. So I would say the one thing that I forgot to mention was that after 5 years, we left the franchise and became independent. So for 5 years, we were within the franchise, and for 5 years, we've been independent. But what I would say is that I personally had zero business experience, zero healthcare experience, aside from my mom. So I would have had zero clue about how to start a business or the steps to take or where to begin or any of that. And so for me, a franchise made sense. My husband and I bought it together. He was always kind of the numbers person in the business and, did all the bookkeeping and the payroll and accounts payables and stuff, and I was the face of the business. And so what I found with the franchisor was that we went to a training. It was 5 days, and they gave you all the steps and said at the end of the training, okay, now you are the expert, and you're the expert because as of right now, you know more than 90% of the population about how to take care of seniors in their home. And that just like literally bonked me over the head like a hammer, right? Because to think that after a week, I was considered an expert, that was like the magic moment for me. I was just like a girl on fire. You couldn't stop me. I could not help people fast enough. I knew my own experience. That was the foundation for me. I had my own experience. And then to be told, okay, now you're the expert, that was it. There was never a minute that I wasn't going to succeed. Right. And sure, I mean, our growth wasn't the most probably accelerated as some, but our first year, our first year was only 9 months because of the year end of the franchisor. We made 176,000 revenue in the first year. We made 600,000 revenue in year two. We made 680,000 revenue in year three. We did 840,000 revenue in year four. So it was like just consistent growth. And every time you grow, you're helping more people. And at
Yeah.
one point, I was doing $130,000 months, and we were helping 4 people 24 hours a day within those months. Four people
Wow.
24 hours a day needed help. Like it just like I cannot tell you now. My whole thing is that there are thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of women who need help right now with their parents. And I can't get to all of them, but by golly, I'm going to try. Right?
So I appreciate that. And that it leads into my second comment. So my mother-in-law is also in that stage. So is my father. So, and they're in different states. We're geographically closer to my mother-in-law than my father. And what's interesting is last night I said to her, "Hey, we're going to get you into, I do a home maintenance provider business where we go in quarterly and do chores for seniors for the home
Oh,
or
goody.
for anybody for the home."
Mhm.
Said, your home needs to be on our list because it's too much for your son, my husband, to just add to our pile of stuff without it being through the business and having one of our techs get there to handle everything. And her initial response was, "Well, I can do stuff." And it was like this whole entire almost guilt trip she was going to put
Uh-huh.
on between my husband and I. And it was hard for me, especially as a daughter in law, going, "Dude, don't do that to my husband." Like I wanted to just, essentially say, "Hey." And so when I think about what you're doing, it's fantastic. And I have to believe there's probably support for the kids and their spouses too to take care of these seniors because that is a whole nother dynamic and element of, especially if the senior has done everything, is proud, is, whatever. And then you simply start taking away the items because at the end of the day, the risk of them falling or of something happening during some of these activities outweighs the benefit of letting them stay completely independent. So definitely I'm
Yeah.
in the middle of that with both sides of the parents, and it's just like, wow. So
Yep. And that is my my client avatar is the daughter or daughter-in-law. 85% of calls come from them. They are the care decision makers. And
mm,
even though, as I said, I have four brothers, they did nothing. Not any condemnation to them, but they did nothing. They were oblivious. And so there's just something about being a daughter that
yeah.
it just falls on us, right? And so that also means that we have to uh, to be blunt, pull up our big girl panties and say, listen, why don't we just give it a try and see if you like it? And right, like I had to say this to my own dad, right? Like, why don't we just give it a try, see if you like it, see if it helps. It doesn't have to be forever, right? We just have to learn how to take the role of the boss, if you like to say it that way, so that we can help our parents because they they feel guilty about asking for help. They feel guilty about burdening their loved ones, right? So we have to just make it like it's okay. I'm going to help you with this.
Well, and the other thing is for the siblings that don't contribute the day-to-day stuff, making sure that they understand they have to contribute the monetary stuff.
Yeah, absolutely,
So that's
absolutely.
another huge part.
Mhm.
Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing.
Yeah, and you too. Great job or great business. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so who's next from the members that to ask a question today?
Well, if nobody has anything right at the moment, I wanted to ask, so, I love Vicky listening to, how determined you were. You're like, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to make this happen. And I feel like that's a huge mindset thing. So, like, what do you feel like might have been the hardest mindset shift for you to, to get you to be like, this is happening and this is going to work? And because I know a lot of times we stay stuck, we want to do something and but we're kind of our mind is holding us back. Like there's thoughts, that self-doubt and all of that. So what was that experience like for you?
Well, I think for me, what happened was the first time I got let go, I was just in shock mode. I was scrambling. All I could think about was, I've got to get another job. I've got another job. Got to get. There was no other thought in my mind. I've got to get another job. I've got to get another job. Right? Like at the time, I had zero awareness of something else as a possibility. Right? That was just the way it was. That was just life for me. I had a job. But the second time, and it being around the same time as we saw that little pink car, that was like the time that the shift for me. Like once I saw that car and I knew what that car was doing on our street, I they couldn't take my money fast enough as that franchisor. Like I was their perfect franchisee partner, right? Like I couldn't get through their drip marketing fast enough. I was just like harassing the sales rep. Like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? How can I? So at I think the mindset shift was getting let go twice, right? Well, it's just like, okay, something is not working for me anymore. There's got to be something else. And then concurrently, that the answer to my prayers about how else I could have helped my mom being served up on my street. I mean, you can't manifest stuff like that. You can't make it up, right? It's just the way it has to be, and and so I can't really say where the shift happened, but I was just like, okay, if I'm just going to get let go from my job every time, then I guess that's the last of that, right? I can't continue to berate myself and drag myself thinking, why would somebody want to let me go? What wasn't I doing right? That was it. I was done with that.
Well, I love that too. I mean, because a lot of people stay stuck right there, and
They do, and
you
it's
did not.
unfortunate.
Yeah, and so and that's and look at what what beautiful things you're doing to help people and their families and stuff. So I commend you for that. I think that's awesome, and it just makes me even more excited about you bringing legs up there because I know you're gonna kick butt and you want to share this beautiful community with the women that you know and that you're involved with up there. So, I'm really excited for what you're going to be doing. But I'm just really in awe that, you did not let yourself stay there when I know that that's sometimes the hardest thing to get out of.
Well, I stayed there really bad in the first time. It was 8 months of really bad, just feeling bad for myself. But I think also like when you're in the position where you're just like, you have been in a career for 20 years, you just can't see yourself. You tell the story that you have to work to pay the bills, that you have to work
Mm.
to to provide for your family, that you tell yourself a story and then you realize that it's actually just a story,
Well,
and that you don't have to
Wow,
believe that story anymore.
yeah. So
that's
I
powerful.
I want to jump in here because this part of what I've been busting to say and ask, and you just touched on it. And I want it for everyone though, because so you transitioned from being a quote unquote government employee to being a business owner. And so yeah, like when I have clients and work with, like it's the identity shift is like if you're able to step into the identity, then all the other stuff falls into place. And like you are like I want to like gonna be able to shrine to you in my living room tonight because you're like the epitome of like you had such an identity transition. So because you weren't, you didn't carry all right, so you had the employee thing going on the first time, and then the second time you're like, okay, I'm willing to see myself differently. And that is like the key piece for success and bit like because I'm going to be a new person or you have a new set of beliefs, but you embody a completely new identity because you didn't look to transition into like, okay, how can I go work for one of these people because I want to help? Like you elevated yourself right into the identity, and like that's the biggest piece. So like high five, hats off to you. That's awesome. And so for anybody else, I'm thinking that they're maybe looking at you going like, oh, well, that's okay for Vicky because she's the dynamo, and yet I can't start my own business because of like fill in the blank. Like like having the identity of being a business owner is going to start opening those doors. So like yeah, awesome story. And yet I really wanted to congratulate you and share my admiration that like the identity piece was like such a huge part of it, and you nailed that all on your own. So yeah, that's that's so cool.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I might sound like I was like, perfect from the get-go, but you know how it is, right? You just take one step at a time, one day at a time. And it's like, what do they say? Like it's you're climbing a mountain and there's
Yeah.
fog three-quarters of the way up and you can't see where the heck you're going, right? And you have no idea how you're going to get there, but you just keep taking a step at a time, right? And that I mean, I won't lie. The employee mindset was really hard for me to kick. I expected a paycheck. I expected to be paid six figures. I had a really hard time with that. There was no paycheck for me. There was no paycheck for a really long time. And when I did get one, it was so puny. It was like, what the heck, right? So, I'm not going to lie and say that there weren't mindset shifts that still had to happen for me. But what I wasn't going to let any of that stop me from doing my new job of being my boss or my business owner,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like that was just going to have to come along like the big
Yeah.
old ball and chain, right? Like it was going to have to come along at some point, and it took a long time.
Right. Because the difference in the so in the worker employee mindset, a lot of it is like I'm working to, to get a paycheck. And then when the transition into the entrepreneurial, a lot of it it's like what you said, like then you have something to give to the world. So employee can be a lot like I'm doing the work and I'm getting a paycheck. An entrepreneur is like I'm here to give to the world and, give and receive. So yeah, it's a very different mindset. So like, you explained it so well that okay, like so there's like all these little steps along the way of like adopting your new identity and shifting out of like I'm working to get a paycheck to like no, I'm here to give something to the world. Because I feel like all entrepreneurs like we're like, oh, I've got something that I want to give to the world, right? It's not about like what am I going to do to get a paycheck. So yeah, that and it's so interesting. So being from Canada, of course, I understand that whole government thing. Like I can just imagine you must have felt like the gut punch of all gut punches, like getting let go from your first government job. Like I can only imagine. I mean, I've had business betrayal, but never like like losing a government job. So yeah, that is like
Well,
yeah,
when you're in senior leadership, as you know, in
yeah,
any organization, if
yeah,
you're in senior leadership, middle management and up, you're always going to be the one that's at risk
yeah.
of losing your job. But as you point out, in the government sector, you don't ever expect that still.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean,
But
I'd want to be a Vicky Hogg. Does anybody else like have like more questions to ask? Business stuff, golf stuff, lake stuff? No.
all right, my job is done.
Yeah,
You're all going to go out and tear it up now.
yeah,
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Vicki. This has been really inspiring. It makes me think, a lot about, the journeys that we go on in different walks of our lives or our life. And it just, I mean, I think your title was just perfect because I mean, we really can reinvent ourselves. We can start over whenever we want. I mean, I think about I'm in a local women's group, a women business owners group, and there are so many women over 50 years old that are just starting a business. And I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. I love hearing their stories of how they got there and why they're there. And a lot of them are in the health care fields. I think they've seen so much working with people, underneath people. And now they're like, I want to set the record straight. I want to really help people because some of the things that I hear are just surprising to me. It's made me become, I think, a better advocate for myself when I go to the doctor and things like that. But I mean, back to my point, I think it's just so awesome to hear someone share their story of what they were able to accomplish and, be that testimony to us as women that we can do whatever we want whenever we want. It's, it really is about making the decision to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. And as if I can help anyone or answer any questions, then hopefully you got my information and you can reach out to me.
Yeah, and we'll be sending this recording out. So if you know of anyone that this might be helpful to, I think it was very inspiring. So you're welcome to share the recording afterwards and stuff. So, but thank you. And so I'll let you close us out.
Take one more question.
Oh, oh, one more
Okay,
question?
go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so for ladies who are thinking about stepping out, it seems like there are many shiny object syndrome in front of. I think I think it's not unique to me. So how did you deal with the shiny object syndrome when you decided, oh, this is your calling, this is what you want to do, and then you stuck with it? Because of course it was not easy from the get-go. How did you help yourself stay focused without, checking out other easier businesses, so to say, to stay
Yeah,
on
I
your
love
lane?
that. I love that question so much. And I won't lie, it's easy to go off piste, right? But one of the things that we used to have through our franchise was they had an annual conference where all the franchise partners got to get together. And that was one of the early ones that I attended. The one of the team leads in the franchise said, are you still pink? And that was our brand. It was pink. And that question, it seems so innocuous, but if you are your brand, if you are your business, and you're not living every element of your business in your day, then you have to look at what aspects have gone off pink or coral or salmon or peach, and which of those you can just prune right off because they are going to distract you from your success. And when you are distracted from your success, then you are going to lose out on revenue. You're going to lose out on income and profitability. You're going to lose out on having a fantastic team. You're going to lose out on attracting the people that really need you. There are people that need you. And if you are not living your brand, then they can't see you because they're looking for that brand. And so when I say brand, I'm saying your business, right? You as the leader are your brand. And so I guess the most important thing to look at is what I'm doing helping people? Is it bringing me money? Is it creating income? Am I paying my team through these activities? And if not, then they have to stop or they have to go or they have to be delegated to someone else. And that is just simply the way it has to be. And you have to be ruthless. You have to be ruthless with yourself. You cannot go off brand or out of your business. And as long as you know who your ideal client avatar is, who your business is meant for, then you can always bring yourself back to center, right? Always bring yourself back to that pink. And I think that's the key, is that you have to choose and decide every single day that you are going to be pink and nothing else. You're not going to be blue. You're not going to be yellow. You're going to be pink every day. You have to choose. And that's the only thing that I can say is that's helped me, is that I am in charge of how life goes for me. I get to decide and I can choose. And so that's just how I have managed things for myself. I hope that's helpful.
Very helpful. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
Okay, anybody else? Our fabulous guest is gonna leave soon. This is your last chance.
I'm always available if anybody
I
needs
was
me.
gonna say that, and if you prefer to reach out directly, it sounds like this is gonna be okay for you to do that. So,
Please.
all right. So I will admit, Lisa, other than to thank everyone very much for being here, thank our fabulous guest. I don't know what else to do. She told me to close it. I'm like, wait, you never told me the close it up part.
Well, no, I mean, it's just wrapping it up and
Okay.
saying thank you to Vicky
Okay.
and thank you to our guest. And then,
All right.
of course, we're always around. And you know what? Just to take this opportunity, SL, I think it's a good think some of the people weren't on the call at the very beginning. So SL, if you
Oh,
haven't seen our socials and we sent out an email, she is our new education advisor, our national education advisor, and she is working with legs because she really believes in the mission. She loves helping people to grow and be able to accomplish and get to where they need to be and build up that confidence level regarding golf, regarding your life, all of that, your business. So she is starting a new virtual offering for legs members only, and it starts this month. So there's two pathways and you can attend both, or we're going to alternate every other month, or you can just pick a lane and follow along with that one. And she'll be starting that. It'll be the fourth Wednesday. So this is the
yeah.
third Wednesday. Golf and Grit's always the third Wednesday, but she will be sharing on the fourth Wednesday of every month and focused on one of those pathways of confidence on the course is what it's called. If you haven't seen it. And so anyways, I just want to take this time because I know that we're always looking to help our community grow. And this is another one of those special ways that we can do it. And it's totally free. And SL really has a really great background and works with the LPGA on mindset and things like that already. So I mean, she comes she comes with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. And I'm just really, really excited about her being here and starting this with
Oh,
us.
thank you. I'm excited to be meeting and talking with everyone as well. So anyway, but we'll do that next Wednesday because that's when we're on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd take a
Yeah.
moment just
Thank you.
because I know everybody gets so many emails and I didn't know if anybody saw that. So, but yeah, yeah. Thank you, everybody. And I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your week and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.